You've been planning for early retirement. Maybe you have decided a safe withdrawal rate, you've been calculating your retirement expenses in future, you've got an emergency fund, you may even have decided or planned where you would like to live once you retire. But have you planned for the massive impact that early retirement has towards friendships? Well, let's build that. Hi everyone, welcome to our channel. If you've been watching videos on our channel, then you probably already know that Seema and I, we both achieved financial independence and decided to retire early. It's been around 3 years now that we've been retired, and we've been stumbling and learning along the way. And our ambition through this channel is to share these experiences and our learning so that it can help you towards your own journey. One such learnings is that the impact or the toll early retirement takes towards friendships. So in this video, I'm going to try and give you the reasons why this happens, and more importantly, what can you do to minimize that impact, or maybe even use it towards that advantage to strengthen the friendships. Before I do that, a humble request for the folks who've not subscribed. Thanks for tuning in anyways, but would love for you to subscribe to the channel. We get a better idea that what kind of folks are watching our videos, so that we can also give you more or share more of our experiences accordingly. And more importantly, please do provide your thoughts, comments, feedback, and if there are topics that you would like us to address based on our experiences. Anyways, getting back to the topic. So the first reason of the impact on friendships is a very practical or an obvious reason, and that is the schedule mismatch. When you're working, like most of your friends, you've got a 9 to 5 working schedule, you're free on weekends, you holiday during Christmas, New Year, Diwali breaks, such public holidays where you try and make those short or long holidays. But once you retire and retire early, what happens is that the rest of the folks are still working in your friend circle while you are retired. And that creates from a full calendar of a 9 to 5 weekly calendar to an empty calendar. And suddenly the time there is a mismatch. So for example, for Seema and I, we are at our prime time at 11 o'clock in the morning during the weekday. That's when we are raring to go, do some activity, have some fun experiences together with some friends, etc. While for our friends who are still working, most likely the same in your case, that your prime time is 7 p.m. on the weekend when you are free. And the energy levels are also very different. So energy levels for Seema and myself at 11 o'clock on a Tuesday morning is very different from someone on a 7 p.m. on a Saturday, where at 7 p.m. they probably just want to, after a very exhausting week, just relax and rest at home. But someone like us may probably want to go out for dinner and just have fun outside. So that's where the mismatch happens. Now, what can you do about it? What we are doing is that first is that we are adapting our schedule time and again to match the schedule of our friends. So that means that when our friends are taking their holidays, that is during Christmas breaks, New Year breaks, or during their kids' holidays, etc., we are trying to make sure that we also take holidays during that time with them or visiting them. Generally, it's more expensive because you are traveling during the peak season, and during the retirement, one of the luxuries you have is that you can travel during the non-peak season and make the benefit of those non-peak hour prices. But we are budgeting on our annual travel budgets for such travels that is suiting our friends, because we want to make sure that we use our flexibility for their advantage and to make sure that the friendships continue. And the other thing what we are doing is that we are visiting them rather than expecting for them to visit us, or we are meeting at a common place. Interestingly, quite a few of our friends have visited over the last 3 years in Thailand, because it's an incentive for them to come and visit a new country. But we are making sure that every year we are visiting our friends. And the reason this is because keep in mind that friendships are not just based on who you are, but it's also practically based on where you are. And that's what we want to do, is we want to, even if it takes an investment of time, money, and effort of making that trip, we are doing that so that we can continue those friendships and don't let the schedule mismatch as a barrier towards that friendship. So that is more of a practical reason. The second one is more of an emotional reason, and that is the relatability gap. When you're working, like most of your friends, and especially with your work friends who you've gained over your corporate life or corporate years, you have similar struggles. But once you stop working, the struggles or the problems that you have start diverging. So when you're meeting together, what we are realizing is that for our friends, their struggles or their emotions are for, they're venting the issues that they are having with their terrible boss, or the emotions of a losing or winning a deal, a promotion, a salary increase, or other office dynamics. While when you've retired early, your problems are that where would you like to visit, which country would you like to visit, which city would you like to visit, struggle that you're probably having with your newly found hobby, physical struggle or emotional struggle over there. So it becomes a different set of points or struggles that you're trying to align with each other. And the result of this is that it becomes a one-sided listening exercise, because the other person finds it a bit difficult to relate to the other person's struggles there. Now, what can you do about it, or exactly what we are doing about it is, first is that we are trying to tell less of our retirement struggles and listen more on their struggles. Because if they are curious, yes, we do share our retirement struggles, whatever they are, but we satisfy more of those struggles through these videos more than just our friends. But we try and be more empathetic towards their struggles. So we have to, in our early retirement, and the same goes to you, that you have to make sure that your listening skills, your comprehending skills, and understanding your struggles of your friends remain still high once you've retired. The other thing, what we are trying to do is trying to also find common areas where we are still very relatable, and dig up those common areas from the past also. One of the things that we've done in the last 3 years is that use this early retirement towards an advantage to build those stronger bonds, especially with our college friends. So every year, like as I said, that for the last 3 years, we've been trying to go and visit them and meet them and adjust our schedule towards them. But we've also been trying to relate to or relive those college days and understand the struggles that are still much more common in life, be it personal, family, social, even our own aspirations that we have towards life, etc. And honestly, I feel very good that over the last 3 years, we both have a much stronger bond with our friends than we had earlier. So that's a big benefit that we are using. When it comes to work friends that we had built over the corporate years, we are also realizing that one of the things that we are doing, and we suggest you to do the same, is try and pivot and find new social connections, and find the social connections with the people where you have similar aspirations and struggles now, than you had with your work friends earlier. And that's where we really like living in Thailand, because there is a bustling and a very vibrant early retiree and traditional retiree retirement community here. So there is a lot of relatability that we have in this community, where we have very similar struggles, be it about healthcare, be it about what we are going to do, where are we going to travel, the hobbies that they are doing, the hobbies where we are discussing, etc. So there is a lot more relatability there. The third one is a lot more human element of the reason of these impact on friendships during early retirement, and that is what I would call envy and judgment. Because we are all humans, we have this tinge of envy, judgment, etc. We do too. And that also happens once you've retired, that there is some level of envy or some level of judgment, or even I would say resentment, that can happen within our friendship circle. And my experience, or our experience, has been that that happens less with those really deep friends from the college days or school days, but more with the work friends that we built over the years. And typically what we've seen is that we get three kinds of reactions when people hear, or friends hear, that we've retired, early retired. One reaction is that, hey, you won the race, congratulations, fantastic, good for you. And there could be even a tinge of envy over there, but most of them have this genuine feedback. The second is, which is a judgmental feedback that, hey, you were able to do it because, and then there is a couple of reasons. They'll say you were in the tech industry, you were in probably in, you got an overseas assignment, you don't have kids, or whatever. There'll be multiple reasons that they will try and cite, not knowing that there is so much more than just one or two reasons that happens in terms of the whole process that we went on for almost 2 decades towards achieving this goal of saving diligently, planning, etc., etc. So there is a bit of a judgment that happens. And the third is, I would say, where especially with the work friends that we people try and dismiss early retirement, they say that's good for you maybe, but I just love working. And sometimes implicitly and a few times even explicitly trying to say or show that you retired because you did not like working, or you were lazy and you just wanted to do nothing in life, while we are still driven, we are still wanting to work. Now, what are we doing about this? Very simple, is that we are trying to ignore this almost as a noise, because if you don't ignore this, it can cause frictions, it can cause gaps in the friendships. And we are trying to be much more humble, modest. So rather than harping our retired life, and again, this channel is enough for us to do that, that we try and give our experiences, good, bad, and ugly from that, but we do that less with our friends, and we try and be very modest about our own setup. And if we do get these comments, we just take it with a pinch of salt, and we just say, hey, the person is coming from the good place. There is a genuine concern, there is a genuine admiration, and maybe there is even some envy, resentment, or judgment, and fair enough for that. But it is important for us to just move on from that. So these are the three key reasons that I see that it can have an impact on friendships. And if you also get a human or emotional or even practical towards schedule, then it can create those gaps on even diverge. But you can, if you do the right things, you can even converge that and make sure that you use it towards your advantage to make those bonds stronger. But overall, I would say you have to be realistic, and that is like what we are being, is that when we retired early, we were hoping that there will be a couple of our friends who will also follow. Interestingly, over the last 3 years, I think barring two people who we know within our friendship circle who have done this big plunge of retiring early, the rest of them, rightfully so, they are continuing working, they are going about their lives. So you have to be realistic that you cannot expect that if you're retiring early and so will the others. And you have to also at the same time be pragmatic that just because the others are not taking this plunge, that you should not do it. You do it, go for it, as long as you have, as we say in the other videos also, a plan to retire to something rather than retire from something, you will do fine. And just follow some of these pragmatic suggestions that we have in this video, and hopefully the friendships will continue and continue going stronger. So I hope you found this video useful and it gives you some new food for thought towards friendships and planning towards friendships, especially for early retirement. Till the next video, till the next topic, and till the next location. Goodbye from me. Bye bye.